Are you one of those people who believe that if I ask for something I want, I'm being selfish? Or does it make sense to you that there is a huge difference between being selfish and just self-aware? So today, let us walk through those differences and perhaps even try to understand them. To be self-aware is to know who you are, accept your preferences, and then make decisions based on them. It is almost like waking up from a dream and becoming aware of your own surroundings and what your place is within them. Selfishness, on the other hand, is putting yourself, your own needs, in front of someone else's most or even all the time. One is about disregarding the emotions and interests of those around you. The other is simply taking regards of your own interests. When you are self-aware, you acknowledge and take account of your wants and treat them with as much consideration as you treat the requirement of others. With self-awareness, there is zero ego and a 100% confidence involved. Confidence in knowing who you were in the past, who you are choosing to become in the present, and the improved self you see in the future. But like it or not, there is a catch, which is to say that you as an individual may not rise to the top of the chart always, but you do sometimes, just enough times, like when you took action in the interest of others. Sometimes that's not a lot, because frankly, someone else needs to take priority. And that's okay too. Yet there are other times that you find yourself in a more tired or frustrated place and you need to give attention and care to yourself. A few years ago, a news story came into light about Japanese employees overworking themselves to the point of death. They even termed it Arushi, meaning death by overwork. In 2014, a Japanese journalist worked 159 hours of overtime in one single month and died of heart failure the same year. According to USA Today, the 24-year-old Japanese employee had to work for 100 hours in 1 month, after which he committed suicide. Taking time off their work beyond the absolute minimum and having a holiday for themselves every now and then is simply not an option for these Japanese employees. And you'd all be surprised to know that the reason for this is not because the code and conduct doesn't allow them to, but rather the guilt they face, a reflection of the pressure and expectations from a workaholic society. A survey in 2017 found that despite the fact that Japanese employees are entitled to 20 days of work in 1 year, they tend to leave half of those unused. As devastating as this all feels, these news stories provide cautionary tales to everyone around of what can happen if we do not take the time to live for ourselves. These should be the wake-up call for the students who just don't have the time to have a good night's sleep, and the parents who just can't leave their work behind. Now, as they say, awareness without action is worthless. So here I give you a series of simple tips through which you can care for the self. First, risk doing something at least once a week that's just for you. Even if it's a small thing, like sit down and read, drive out, or call a friend. All you need to do is make sure that whatever you do is new and exciting, something that makes your heart beat. When Hermione Granger arrived at the Yule Ball, suddenly looking all elegant, unburdened, and glowing with excitement, she taught all the readers that how putting effort into creating your best version for one special night can bring confidence, energy, and joy. Most importantly, she did this for herself and herself alone. She didn't wear those dress robes or change her hair to impress someone or to make someone else jealous. It was simply an act of self-care and self-empowerment. In surprising everyone else, Hermione surprised herself too by becoming more beautiful and graceful than she ever thought she could be. Second, understand this. What is yours is yours. Sharing and caring is all okay, but some things are yours alone and nobody should be allowed to touch them. If it is your spot, then nobody should be allowed to sit on it. Understood? Start believing in something as powerful and simple as I celebrate myself. Sounds kind of unusual, right? Perhaps even embarrassing. When others celebrate us, it feels pretty good. But to celebrate ourselves? Children enjoy celebrating themselves. When a baby finds her own toes, she's completely delighted. When a toddler realizes that he can make sounds that bring him rewards, He beams proudly. Why can't we take similar delight in the simple wonder of being alive? Our life is a great gift worth celebrating. Fourth, learn to let it go. The next time you feel like crying, just let it out. Feel it, breathe it, hold it. You have just experienced something special, and there is nothing to be ashamed of. Don't let anyone talk you out of your feelings or tell you how you should feel. Your tears are totally valid. Now mind, right? I'm not saying to go out in the world and find things to make yourself cry. But when the moment arises, embrace it without any resistance. Most of us often get angry. In such a phase, we're not sure what will help us calm down and control the rage. But don't worry, a beloved Sheldon Cooper has a solution to this. He believes that nothing can calm us better than tea. Tea is Sheldon's life essence. When he turns to his sinister and sour self, a few licks of the nectar of the gods can help bring him back to his tip-top shape. Sixth, turn up the tune. If you have noticed that a certain music has the power to help bring a smile to your face, you're not alone. As it turns out, science has taken note too. Research has shown that listening to happy music helps stimulate creative thinking. Seventh, this is a step I want all of you to do specially. Ask yourself one question regularly. Am I constantly saying yes to things I don't want to do? If the answer is yes, it is important that you sort your priorities right now. Make a list of what you actually want to do and what you are doing just because others are forcing you to. If family comes first, say yes to them. However, do not ever make yourself miserable and stretched too thin just to please others. So, as we come to the end of this discussion, I would like to convey one hard truth to all of you. You are going to tick a lot of people, and by that I mean a lot, once you start doing what is good for you. But in the end, it's all gonna be worth it, cause you, my friend, are worth it.